I must say, it is a house of horrors happening on the GOP side, and I just you let crazy keep being crazy.
Yeah, they're governed by the people in the party right now who don't believe in government, who don't believe in any much of anything other than being against everything. And if you ask these people in Congress, like Nancy Mace and Matt Gaetz, what do they want? What was the plan? What are they doing here? You get no straight answers. Matt Gaetz has in his talking points a few lines about wanting to get things done. I'm not sure why he keeps saying that, because, of course, he's had this entire institution on its knees by vacating his chair 2 weeks ago. So I don't get it. I don't think anybody really gets it. There's this certain type of MAGA Republican who just wants to be seen on social media and wants to send out fundraising emails and get on TV. And frankly, that's kind of working for them, because the more sensationalist you are, the more airhead you are and the more clicks you get, and you are rewarded by this version of our media in today's politics. That's part of the reason why he keeps doing it. That's part of the reason why they find themselves where they are. I do have an increasing number of Republicans who are figuring out that this isn't working, and they look particularly stupid when there's a war going on in the Middle East. And so I don't know how this ends. Now we have the rumor of Pat McHenry saying that he might resign as this, resign the chair. But this is really the culmination of the Gingrich years in the U.S. House. This idea that you never do anything with the Democrats. I mean, one thing they are united in is not working with the Democrats. And so, you have the situation that we have right now.
This right here, Reese, is one of those moments where you Democrats, you go, hey, everybody back up. Train wreck is happening before our very eyes, and let's just get some popcorn and watch.
Absolutely. I think that Congresswoman Crockett is so right about people always expecting the Democrats to be the adults in the room and play cleanup on aisle 6 for the dysfunctional Republicans. But there needs to be very clear messaging that the Republicans have the majority. The way that people expect Democrats to move mountains and make miracles happen when they have the majority, the bar is in hell for Republicans to even function as a caucus. But the reality is, the government will be no more functional even with a Jim Jordan, or as Crockett says, Jim, G-Y-M Jordan, in the speakership, because he does not have a plan to govern. He's not talking about funding the government in a way that makes sense. He's not talking about working across the aisle. He wants to get in there and continue to be a hack partisan and run interference for Trump. And so this is just on full display how Republicans absolutely refuse to govern. They're not learning that the American people really want bipartisanship, even though that's irrational on the American people's part at this point. But at the end of the day, they know that they don't necessarily pay the political price for this. When the government shuts down because of Republicans, Democrats lose. When things don't work well in the government, Democrats tend to lose. And so I don't think that the Democrats should rescue them, but I don't think they should be counting their little victory laps and being all smug about it, because at the end of the day, people don't differentiate between Democrats and Republicans. They just see government as not working. And that's what they need to be messaging, that the Republicans are the ones that are dysfunctional, and put the adults back in charge, and you'll see a difference.
These people, Greg, literally are showing us exactly who they are. And this is what happens when you empower nutcases, when the Tea Party people come in, when you allow it to consume you, and when you truly become the Tea Party, the MAGA party, the Trump party. That's what they are. I don't want to hear this about moderate Republicans. They don't moderate Republicans. Bottom line is, they chose to dance with the devil, and now they mad they in hell.
Absolutely, Roland, and you read my mind, brother. As we just heard Lauren say, well, they are unified against the Democrats, and Reese is right. I mean, the American people. We just saw the inexplicable. Well, it's explicable, but the indefensible display of people not voting in Louisiana. Hopefully, it won't be repeated in Mississippi. But people are just tuned out. And they treat this like a sporting event, like that silly remark Joe Biden made the other day about, the bomb that hit the hospital in Gaza was from the other team. It's no teams, man. This isn't sports. But people treat this like a sporting event. We're dealing with government. We're dealing with people's lives. And it's certainly, if we can look at mass commercial white-facing entertainment media for any clues, it may very well be that Patrick McHenry, who is now term limited as chair of the Financial Services Committee, and there was talk, as Lauren said, of him perhaps transitioning out of Congress altogether, either that or being speaker. We might want to pick up on the hint of the last 24 hours as people start raising his name and asking who he is. We remember he came in the Tea Party wave, but since then he came in as a bomb thrower. He came in kind of like Gymnasium Jordan, but this is last vestige of the era of the Tea Party, as Lauren said. But since then, he has turned into a bit of a policy wonk. He was the Financial Services Committee chair, and he reached across the aisle and has worked with Maxine Waters. It might be that we might want to talk with your friend Maxine Waters to see perhaps what we might be able to expect out of a speakership of Patrick McHenry. One thing is clear, finally. Gymnasium Jordan, who is a great example of affirmative action, white maleness, on the day that the Phoenix Mercury and the WNBA just announced a man with no coaching experience whatsoever has been named the coach, another white man who got the job because he's a white man. Jim Jordan is doing this because he knows that this is the last best chance for the nuts to run run the Republican Party. And Jasmine Crockett has laid it out. She's laid it out. Elect some more Democrats, so at least you'll have a chance of having some policy move through Congress. But Patrick McHenry might be the person who ends up with that speaker's gavel to do more than just slam it down. Oh, one other thing, the Speaker Pro Tem, his position, that came into existence after September 11, 2001, when the Speaker of the House had to make up a secret list after that with names of people who could be the Speaker if he or she somehow was incapacitated. And I don't think anybody in a million years thought Patrick McHenry would hold that gavel, but he might end up as the speaker if we can read the tea leaves of the mass media.
Yeah, but guess what? This was hilarious. Go to my iPad. Now Patrick McHenry is threatening to quit. Oh my God! So here's the deal. This is what in the closed door meeting Thursday, Representative Patrick McHenry told GOP colleagues he might resign as Speaker Pro Tem if Republicans push him to try to move legislation on the floor without an explicit vote to expand his powers, according to multiple lawmakers in the room. If you guys try to do that, you'll figure out who the next person on Kevin's list is. McHenry told the room, three sources said, referring to former Speaker Kevin McCarthy's secret list of GOP lawmakers who would serve as temporary speaker in the event of a vacancy. Oh my God. Lauren, that would absolutely, you know what? My birthday is in, less than a month. That'd probably be a great birthday gift. Because God, if you lose a Speaker Pro Tem, then they're like, well, damn, who the hell are we gonna get? Like, there literally is this is how crazy they are. There's no compromise candidate on their side because their margin is so thin. You have the nuts like Gates, they control the whole apparatus.
Well, actually, him quitting, McHenry quitting is actually less crazy than what we witnessed over the last few days, which was the idea of Jim Jordan being the speaker. You would actually have somebody who cannot say into a microphone that Joe Biden was legitimately elected, among other things about him. This is delusional, the idea that Jim Jordan would be speaker. And by the way, they're talking about another vote tonight, which I'm not sure why Jim Jordan wants to see the number double of people who could be voting against him. Apparently, that's what he wants to see. So McHenry, people leaving or stepping off the stage is actually a logical move in this moment because you're only tethered to something that has historically never happened before. And it's something that is fairly crazy. So it actually makes sense to me to hear that a member of Congress is not going to run for re-election, which we heard yesterday, a MAGA Trump Republican House member, and now to hear that McHenry's thinking, I want to get off this stage. They don't know what they're doing, and they increasingly look like they have no idea what they're doing at a moment of crisis. The Senate is on the other side of the building, doing business and leaving for the evening. But the House looks ridiculous. The real test is going to come in about 20 days about whether or not, the voters in Virginia are going to decide that this matters to them. They may not. But this is what, quote, Republican governance, in fact, fat quotes, looks like. This is what running your mouth all day on Fox News and saying absolutely nothing, and talking loud and saying nothing, and you know, being the friend of Donald Trump. All of that is what, this is the culmination of their nothingness. And it's playing out. They're actually sort of lucky in their timing because we have a serious news story overseas. So you're not getting the updates that you normally would be getting detailing this level of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Well, the Republican Accountability Project, they put this video out. I'm gonna play this here before I go to break. So, hey, what the hell? Might as well enjoy the nuttiness.
Republicans worked so hard to finally get a slim majority in the House of Representatives. Total chaos.
This conference is absolutely broken.
We're dysfunctional right now.
We've allowed emotion to get in the way of logic.
Now we're in total chaos, and now people are talking about handing our majority over to the Democrats.
It hurts the country, it hurts Congress, it's hurting our party.
It makes us look like a bunch of idiots.
This is petty, and I'm getting freaking tired of it.
We don't deserve the majority. We're a ship that doesn't have a rudder right now.
People are looking for a perfect system. They shouldn't be looking at the U.S. House right now.
These guys want to be in the minority. That's exact. I think they would prefer that because they can just vote no and yell and scream all the time.
Hey, the Republicans finally got the chance to drive the car. They're in a ditch.
Ah! Love it.